Hi guys, so we are back here again with Biology KSSM Form 4. So as for today, we are going to talk about cell biology and organization. So this is the chapter 2 of Form 4 subtopic. So there are 4 subtopics in this chapter, which is the first one is the cell structure and function, followed by living processes in unicellular organism. Then we are going to study on the living processes in multicellular organism. And lastly, we are going to focus on the levels of organization in multicellular organism. So let us begin with the first subtopic. So what is cell? So cell is the basic unit of living things. So every living things in this world begin with a single cell. So dia bermula daripada satu sel. So it is a basic component that can be seen using light microscope and electron microscope. So apa beza dia antara light microscope dengan electron microscope ni? So light microscope uses lenses to refract the light to produce a finer magnitude of image, while the electron microscope uses magnetic field to focus a beam of electron in order to produce a final highly magnified image. So dengan kata lain, elektron mikroskop ni dia lebih sesuai untuk digunakan untuk kalau kita nak tengok benda yang lagi kecil. Kalau kita nak fokus pada benda yang lagi kecil, kita akan gunakan elektron mikroskop. Kalau setakat nak tengok biasa je, kita boleh guna light microscope. So we're gonna begin with the animal cell. Kita akan mula dengan animal cell kita. So first kali plasma membrane. So plasma membrane tu yang mana? So plasma membrane ni is the middle between the cytoplasm and outer membrane. So the characteristic. So the outer membrane that surround the entire content of the cell, it is made up of protein and phospholipid. They are thin and elastic film and partially permeable. So what does it mean by partially permeable? It means that they allow some of the substances to move across it, but they doesn't allow some of it to pass through it. So the functions pula. So it separates the content of the cell from the external environment. It also controls the movement of substances into and out of the cell. It allows the exchange of nutrient, respiratory gases and waste material between the cell and their surrounding. So dengan kata lain, dia seolah-olah kita punya lapisan terakhir kita sebelum kita jumpa dengan environment luar ataupun outer environment kita. So next we have our nucleus. So nucleus ni dia ada, nucleus tu sendiri terdiri daripada nuclear membrane, chromatin, nucleolus dan nucleoplasm. So dalam nucleus dia punya benda lain macam kita punya cytoplasm, dia ada juga satu plasma yang kita panggil sebagai nucleoplasm. Di dalam dia juga kita ada satu komponen yang kita panggil nucleolus yang ni dia macam nukleus kepada nukleus. Dan chromatin pula adalah tempat di mana membawa kita punya maklumat genetik. Last sekali, nuclear membrane adalah dia punya outer layer dia, ataupun kadang-kadang kita boleh panggil juga sebagai nuclear envelope. So the characteristic. So it is the largest component in the animal cell. The shape is spherical, compressed and enclosed in the nuclear membrane with many pores. The nucleus contains chromosomes, nucleolus and nucleoplasm. So chromosome dengan kromatin ni benda yang sama tapi tak serupa. Apa yang bezakan diorang ialah kromatin dalam bentuk berbenang, manakala kromosom ni dia dah jadi dense. Yang ni kromosom. So fungsi dia pula. So it controls all cell activity and has chromosome that contain deoxyribonucleic acid, ataupun kita panggil DNA lah. So the DNA will determine the cell characteristic and metabolic function. So next we have our mitochondria. So mitochondria yang bentuk dia macam sausage ni. So the characteristic. So it is rod shaped or spherical. It consists of 2 layers of membrane. Dia terdiri daripada 2 lapisan, which is the smooth outer layer and the folded inner membrane. So kalau korang perasan dekat dalam gambar ni, okay, this is the mitochondria. So this is the first layer and this folded one is the second layer. It contains enzyme that play roles in the cellular respiration. So their function is as a site to generate energy through the process of glucose oxidation during cellular respiration. So energy release is in the form of ATP. ataupun adenosine triphosphate to use by the cell. So next we have our centriole. So centriole pula is a small cylindrical component that exists in pairs in animal cell. So dia ada dua. Ni centriole. So dia ada dalam bentuk pair. Dia sentiasa dalam bentuk pairing. So made up of a complex arrangement of microtubules and does not exist in plant cell. Dia tak wujud kat dalam plant cell. Their function is just one, which is to form spindle fiber during cell division in animal cell. So since dia tiada dalam plant cell, dan fungsi dia pula adalah untuk membentuk spindle fiber during cell division, so agak-agak kurang, macam mana plant cell hasilkan spindle fiber? Kalau tahu, nanti bagi tahu kat bawah. Okay, next we have the Golgi apparatus. So the characteristic. So it consists of a stack of parallel flattened sacs that are coated by a single cell membrane. The new membrane is added at one end of the Golgi apparatus and the vesicle butt of the other end. So their function is to process, modify, pack, and transport chemicals such as protein, carbohydrate, and glycoprotein. Combination of carbohydrate and protein. So ingat, kalau fungsi Golgi apparatus ni dia ada 4, which is processes, modify, pack, then transport. Okay, next we have our lysosome. So lysosome is a small spherical sac enclosed in a single membrane. It contains hydrolytic enzyme. So since it contains hydrolytic enzyme, what are their functions? So their function is to hydrolyze complex organic molecules such as protein, nucleic acid, and lipid. It also breaks down bacteria and components of damaged cells. Next, we have our ribosome. So ribosome is a small compact spherical granules consists of protein and RNA, ribonucleic acid. So ribosomes are present on the surface of the rough ER or rough endoplasmic reticulum, or exist freely in the cytoplasm. So their function is for the site of protein synthesis. Just now we just talk about rough ER, but we are going to look at the smooth ER first. So smooth ER consists of a network branching tubules throughout the cytoplasm. The smooth ER is connected to the rough ER or extend from the rough ER. They does not have ribosomes on it. So if you are going to differentiate between the rough ER and the smooth ER, you can see whether they have ribosomes or not on it. So their function is to synthesize, secrete, and store carbohydrate, lipid, and non-protein product. It also detoxifies drugs and poison. They are abundant in the cell that synthesis lipid and steroids. So dalam gambar ni, kat atas ni adalah the smooth ER sebab dia tak ada ribosome. Manakala yang bawah ni dia ada ribosome titik-titik ni. So dia adalah rough ER. Kita adalah rough ER pula. So just like the smooth ER, it consists of the folded membrane forming flattened tubes and sacs which are interconnected. So the rough ER are connected to the nuclear membrane and the ribosomes are attached on the surface. So it transports synthesized protein from the ribosome in form of vesicle. They are found abundant in the secretory cells. Next, we are going to look at the cell. So the first, okay, before that, there are some of the components that I won't be shared in this plant cell slide, just because we have talked about it in the animal cell. So kalau benda kita dah terangkan tadi kat dalam animal cell, kita tak akan bincangkan dekat plant cell. So apa yang saya akan bincang kat sini cumalah bahan-bahan yang kita tak akan jumpa dekat animal cell tadi, tapi kita boleh jumpa kat dalam plant cell kita. So we start off with the cell wall. So cell wall is a strong and rigid outer layer. It's made up of a rigid cellulose fiber. It is fully permeable to small molecules and does not part of the living protoplasm of the cell and only present in the plant cell. It maintains the shape of the plant cell. It provides mechanical support and protect the plant cell. So there are the functions. So dengan kata lain, kalau kita tengok kalau kita jumpa plant cell, the outermost layer tu adalah dia punya cell wall. Dan cell wall dia pula biasanya bentuk dia tetap. They have their fixed shape. So, next, dia juga kata this not part of a living protoplasm. So, protoplasm ni apa? So, protoplasm adalah nucleus campur cytoplasm. So next, cytoplasm pula. Okay, cytoplasm tadi ada juga kat dalam animal cell kita, tapi saya nak terangkan ke sini supaya nampak banyak slide sikit untuk plant cell kita. So cytoplasm is a jelly-like medium that contains component of suspended cell, contain organic compounds such as protein, lipid, carbohydrate and inorganic molecules such as potassium ion. So their function is to give shape to the cell. It also acts as a medium of biochemical reaction in the cell, as well as medium for storage of substances. So next we have our vacuole. So vacuole is a liquid filled sac which is the cell sac. The vacuole is surrounded by tonoplast membrane. A young plant cell may have small vacuole while the mature plant cell have a large vacuole. So vacuole in animal cell is small or sometimes it doesn't exist at all. So kadang-kadang dekat dalam kita punya animal cell ada juga kehadiran vacuole, cuma kadang-kadang saiz dia sama ada saiz dia kecil ataupun dia tiada langsung. So the cell sac contain water, organic acid, sugar, amino acid, enzymes, mineral salt, oxygen, carbon dioxide and metabolic byproduct. So their function is to when the water is absorbed into the vacuole, so the cell will become turgid. Dia akan menjadi segah. Dengan kata lain, dia akan jadi tegak lah. So in unicellular animal, so the vacuole contract during osmoregulation, osmosis and excretion. Okay, yang ni kita akan tengok nanti. Next, we have our chloroplast. So chloroplast is also a double layer membrane. Macam siapa tadi? Macam kita punya mitochondria. Dia ada dua layer. Contain of chlorophyll pigment in the grana that gives out the plant a green color. So fungsi dia, the chlorophyll inside the chloroplast will absorb sunlight and convert it into chemical energy during photosynthesis. So compare and contrast between the component of animal cell and plant cell. So these are the similarities where both cells have nucleus, cytoplasm, membrane plasma, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes. While their difference is, as we can see, plant cells have fixed shape, but animal cell does not have fixed shape. Plant cell have cell wall, but animal cells does not have cell wall. Plant cell have chloroplast, animal cell does not have chloroplast. Plant cell have a large vacuole, while animal cells sometimes they have a small vacuole, but sometimes they do not have any vacuole. So plant cells stores carbohydrate in the form of starch, while animal cells store carbohydrate in the form of glycogen. Animal cell does not have central, while the plant cell does not have central, while the animal cell contain centriole. So that is all for subtopic 2.1. So we're going to continue with subtopic 2.2, which is living processes in unicellular organism. So, unicellular organism is an organism that are made up of one cell only. So, dengan kata lain, organisma unicellular ni terdiri daripada hanya satu sel. Uni di hadapan membawa masuk one. So, meanwhile, kalau uni bermaksud one, so bila kita cakap pasal multicellular pula, dia adalah many cell. So it is able to carry out life processes, respiration, movement, nutrition, responding to stimuli, reproduction and growth and excretion. So even though dia cuma satu sel, even though they are only one cell, they can also able to carry out all these processes just like the multicellular organism. So for example of unicellular organism that we commonly use in secondary school are paramecium and amoeba. So this is the amoeba and paramecium. So their habitat. So for amoeba and paramecium. So amoeba is a free living in freshwater and damp soil or as a parasite in animal host, while the paramecium is a free living in freshwater, especially in decaying organic matter. Meanwhile, their physical characteristic. So as for amoeba, it has irregular shape. Their cells enclosed by a cell membrane. The cytoplasm consists of an outer ectoplasm and inner endoplasm. They have nucleus, food vacuole, and contractile vacuole. While paramecium is a slipper-like shape. So the outer layer is covered by cilia. It has two nuclei, macronucleus, which control the metabolism, and micronucleus, which control the reproduction. They also have two contractile vacuole and food vacuole. So this is the amoeba. And this is the paramecium. So for respiration, so both gas exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is used through simple diffusion throughout the plasma membrane for both organism. So untuk amoeba dengan paramecium ni, kedua-duanya akan melakukan perubahan pertukaran gas karbon dioksida dan oksigen melalui resapan ringkas melalui dia punya plasma membrane. So next, nutrition pula. So amoeba, dia akan engulf algae, bacteria or other smaller organism through phagocytosis. Amoeba will move towards the food by extending its pseudopodium to trap food particles by phagocytosis. So apa itu pseudopodium? So pseudo membawa maksud false atau palsu. Manakala podium membawa maksud kaki ataupun pods. So bila pseudopodium, ia bermaksud kaki palsu ataupun false leg. So meanwhile, paramecium pula, it feed on algae, bacteria and other smaller organisms by channeling them through their oral groove into the mouth. Paramecium, the presence of cilium bead helps to transfer the food particles into the oral groove. So dengan bantuan cilia dekat tepi-tepi dia tadi, so let's say this is our paramecium. So kat tepi-tepi ni dia are presence of cilia. So cilia ni akan membantu untuk menghantar makanan tu ke kita punya oral groove. So selepas berlakunya semua tu tadi, apa akan jadi pula lepas tu is that the food vacuole is combined with the lysosome. So the food particles are hydrolyzed by the enzyme lysozyme in the lysosome. So the nutrients are absorbed into the cytoplasm. The undigested food is discharged when the amoeba SP moves, and for the paramecium it will discharge through the anus. Okay, ini adalah proses dia makan. So starting with the dia akan mendekati makanan dia, engulf using dia pseudopodium, and then akan create satu food vacuole. Lepas berlakunya digestion, dia akan keluarkan dengan cara dia bergerak. Manakala untuk pergerakan pula sama juga, it constantly changes its shape when it counter obstacle. Amoeba move by extending out their pseudopodium. This is followed by the flow of cytoplasm into the extended pseudopodium. So meanwhile, paramecium move using the rhizomelic cilia beads diagonally backwards, propel forward while rotating and spiraling along the axis. For reproduction, so when the condition is suitable, so there is plenty of food, amoeba and paramecium will reproduce via asexual reproduction mostly through binary fission through mitosis. So kedua-dua organism ni, kalau keadaan tu sesuai, dia akan membiak dengan cara asexually dengan kaedah binary fission. Tapi kalau dalam keadaan yang tidak bersesuaian, contohnya kering, so untuk amoeba dia akan menghasilkan spora. It will form spores that only will germinate when the environment improve. Dengan kata lain, bila keadaan tu dah mula membaik, barulah dia akan menghasilkan anak. Manakala untuk paramecium pula, dia akan melakukan sexual reproduction, which is called as conjugation, occurs when the environment condition is not suitable. So dengan kata lain, bila keadaan tidak sesuai, kedua-duanya akan menjalankan asexual reproduction, which is binary fission. Tapi bila keadaan tidak sesuai, si amoeba ni tadi akan form spores, manakala yang paramecium akan buat sexual reproduction through conjugation. Ini adalah dua cara-cara dia lah. Okay, next, growth. So, both grows by synthesizing new cytoplasm. So, dia mempunyai ciri-ciri yang sama lah. So, kedua-duanya akan membesar atau pertumbuhan diorang disebabkan oleh synthesizing new cytoplasm. Next, excretion. So, waste such as carbon dioxide, ammonia, and ammonia are removed by diffusion. As amoeba and paramecium live in freshwater environment, the water will diffuse by osmosis and fill the contractile vacuole. When the vacuole expands to its maximum size, the condensation occurs and the water is excreted from time to time. So this process is called as osmoregulation, atau bahasa Melayu kita panggil sebagai pengosmokawal aturan. Response to stimuli. So both respond to external stimuli such as chemical, touch, light. So they both move away from unfavorable stimuli and move forwards to the favorable stimuli. So dengan kata lain, since diorang duduk dekat kawasan yang basah ataupun air, so diorang punya keadaan yang unfavorable bagi diorang adalah kawasannya kering, panas. So bila dia jadi macam tu, dia akan menjauhkan daripada kawasan tu tadi. So that is all for subtopic 2.2. So for the next video, we are going to talk about subtopic 2.3 and subtopic 2.4. And after that, we're going to finish our chapter 2. So that is not all for this video. Apa-apa, kita boleh jumpa untuk next class pula. Okay, that's all. Bye.